Well, I've got the privilege to sit down with Swys de Bruin, the Lions mental doctor, I like to say. The genius of a man and a most creative person I've met. Swys, this almost feels like a coaching report, but I would like us to take it back. 2013, you and Akers come in here and it's dire straits at the Lions setup. Nothing is happening. What was the plan then?
Yeah, but those were the days, eh? If you think of it, time flies, eh?
It does.
It's now, what is it now, 2019, and the call came in November 2012 when he phoned me and I said, Gauteng, forget it, and then the rest is history. But on your question, what happened there, you know, when I arrived here, and it was JP Ferreira, Cash, and Akers and myself, and that Cash was the trainer, JP would do the defense, I would do the attack, and Akers was the head coach. Where do we start now? And I remember asking him, where's the players? The first thing.
Yeah.
And he said to me, no, they're not here, we'll have to find new ones and make the new ones. So that, those years, you know, I think we lost 21 players. That was now 6 months after John Mitchell left, and they didn't win a game, or not many of the Super Rugby games.
True.
So Akers took over, and we lost 21 players, and where do we start? So that was all a blessing in disguise, you know. Those years we had time to fix the thing. So what we started looking at, we know how we wanted to play. I coached Akers and Kimberley, and I know him well, and he got me for the attacking style, and as you say, a few crazy stuff. Yeah, so we took it from there, and what it boiled down to is we got a Franco, a Sous, Mostert, from Tuckies, who the Bulls didn't want. I remember Julian Redlinghuis became a Springbok, Warwick Tecklenburg. There's so many, the list carries on and on. Virtually 80% of that team was guys who needed a chance.
So not to cut you off, Swys, so was your player what was the player that you were looking for? What is it that you wanted to see, that player that can represent the Lions and the style and reflect what you guys were thinking?
I think the first thing was character. Bob's character is still very important for me, you know, when it's tough, how do you stand up? And the second thing, we had a specific style of play we wanted to enforce, and we needed the right player for that. We needed runners, you know. I've got a attacking policy, you run first. I coached you, you'll remember, you got to run first,
have a go,
have a go. Try and beat the guys, and then see if you can pass, and then see if you can kick. That was sort of the philosophy, and we got a sort of a team profile that slotted nicely to that, you know, like Akker van der Merwe that we got in, and all those fast things. And you know, people are thinking, if you think of running rugby, you think of backs.
Yeah.
Our secret, and I let it out now, was our tight fives running ability and our loose forwards running ability.
So true.
Jaco Kriel and Warren Whiteley and Tecklenburg, and those were runners. And you know what we started with. So that's the wrong perception out there. If people tell me, no, you're not scoring tries with backs, I don't care how we score the try, you know. It's an attacking style, not just a backline or a forward style.
Let's look at it now. Akers is gone. A few of your senior players have gone. They've taken other sort of ambitions. They've gone greater opportunities, whatever it might be. How does that now look now? What has been now Swys's sort of plan to make sure that this union stays the union that we're all proud of?
Good question, Vobes. You know what? When Akers and JP and them left, it's already now 2 years ago almost. You know, time flies, as we said earlier. But what happened really is when they left, and you mentioned the names of the players. In fact, it was 13 in all. If you start with Jacques van Rooyen and you go through Akker van der Merwe, since they left, Ruan Dreyer, Franco Mostert, you go Andries Ferreira, you go Jaco Kriel, Ruan Ackerman, you go, the list carries on and on. Faf, brilliant player, Faffy, he left. We lost Trokkie, Ruan Janssen van Rensburg. So, but we bless all those guys. They go, it's their term, I believe in seasons, and it's their time to go. So you know, they were good for us. But what we did in the meantime, and I got to come in here and tell you, I think what changed the whole thing in the meantime when they left, we got a guy, Bart Schoeman, who did wonders behind the scene, and he got young coaches, who was Joey Mungale and Philip Lemmer and Neil de Bruin and those guys, and they got those youngsters in, and they started winning the national championship under 19, I think 2 years in a row, last year under 21s, or the year before as well. So we got those guys in, because we got these young coaches and their young players, and they're the next generation.
So is it a belief that from the Lions, you rather breed from within and give the guys opportunity, no matter how hard it is, the situation, as you understand, they'll be challenged. I mean, they're any experienced coaches. But was the plan to start breeding from within instead of going and look for someone?
You're so right. You know, you talk about the coaches. You should have seen the CVs on Rudolph Stroley's table for the coaches as well. But it's guys with a lot of Springbok ability and a lot of experience. But we knew that we had to get those coaches with those young players as the future. I was the one left over with Cash van Rooyen. So with the senior guys that stayed and the juniors, it formed a very good, happy family. And last year's success that we had with the Super Rugby was, in my eyes, way beyond the year before, because we had much less players. And we had a brand new young coaching staff. So we were very blessed to make the final. And what happened in the meantime, we did lose a few more guys. And we backed with Carl Brinker's not back. And you don't want to look at excuses, but those youngsters are going to back. I trust in them. I believe them. I believe in the young coaches. They've got a work ethic. They came through the youth system. They're like you.
Sure.
You were young in school, you know. They're
Exactly.
part of the furniture.
So we sit there, so you've had an illustrious career of coaching young teams. You were under 21s coach at the Sharks. You had great relationships with those players. How important was it to actually coach the same players at the higher level, understanding what you have already from when they were youngsters?
That's, to use a high word, that's paramount.
Yeah.
That's vital. It's so important, that balance, the few players that you get in. And I'm not saying buy in top players. I'm not saying spend your budget. You don't have that budget for
Sure.
that. We've got a different system. Our system is about developing a youth kind of play into a senior thing, so that you can have what you ask now, that balance and that trust and that whole thing. And that's exactly where we're right now, Gcobani. That's where this union is at this stage, and it's almost a blessing in disguise. Who's the next best guy? We're testing now 2 young locks. They're 21 years old, because Marvin Orrie is still injured.
Yes.
You look at Nathan Macbeth coming in as a Lucet at 20 years of age, but they're from our system. He's from Monash. They're the guys. And then we on loan, we got Carlos Sardi from Province.
Yes.
He didn't really make it there, but he's growing
done well.
here.
He's
He's
done
going to become a Bok one of these years. I don't know when.
Standard.
Frans van Wyk is on loan here from the Bulls. We've got Franco Nodie on loan from the Bulls as well. So those guys, we're not spending a lot of money on them. They, from a franchise, we're giving them a chance.
Yes.
And if they stand up, we look at the future for them.
I mean, now let's take it now, 2019. 3 games, 1 win, 2 losses, big accomplishment, winning away from home against Jaguares. How hard has it been for you to prepare this bunch of players, and to what team profile do you have now?
Yeah, no, look, it's a very good question. Our team profile at this stage is guys that's waiting for a chance, and I'm very excited for them. And we're getting challenged. And we did win the first game in Argentina. I don't think the team has done it recently.
Yeah.
We couldn't do it in the last 4 or 5 years.
Exactly.
So we wanted to go and beat them there, and we did. Now, we didn't play the running brand we wanted. It's 34 degrees, so talking about team profile, it's the hand that was dealt and you play it. It was a sweaty, hot day in Buenos Aires, and to beat them there was a 15-man effort, and it was a good effort. And, we're not scoring the 5-6 tries. You couldn't on that day. The ball was too slippery. Then off to Cape Town, very positive, 14-3 up half-time. Lost Warren Whiteley, inspirational, especially in our system now. He's captain fantastic. He's the lead. He's a great leader.
He is a good.
We've got Elton and other guys backing him, but Warren is special. So that's a new challenge. It's a fantastic challenge for Malcolm Marx now, you know, and Elton and those guys to stand up. Marx is still a young guy.
Yeah.
So came Newlands. Now the people are panicking. I see the guys on the golf course, and wherever I go, yell's useless and what gaan on and that. You know, we lost that game in the 84th minute.
Which is longer than 80.
Which is longer than 80. So
you ask your players to only give you
but we had
80 minutes.
We had fault. We should have kept our discipline. We really should have kept our discipline. And then came the next game against the Bulls. Fantastic. They just lost. against the Jaguares there. We beat the Jaguares.
Yeah.
They came back here and they gave a fantastic display of rugby. And I was fortunate to work with Pollard and the guys with the Springboks.
Sure.
He understands the tactical game brilliantly, and he had the pack of forwards. Experienced pack.
Yes.
Manne. Great guys, and our guys learned a lot in that game. And I'll tell you now, you'll see next time we've grown from that.
I mean, we talk about that. So you see these players who are brilliant youngsters, loads of potential. Do you think the success that you've had has seduced them in a way to think that it's just going to happen?
Yeah, often, they say success breeds success. But I tell you one thing, I believe in seasons. We've got a thing at work now about our tree, where the roots got to be right. You've got to water the tree right, and eventually the branches will come out and it will produce fruit. But that doesn't, to have a good strong tree producing good fruit, Bobs, doesn't happen overnight.
So true.
So I hate the word building.
Yeah.
The fans out there hate it.
Yeah.
But I want to tell them they got to understand. We had 3 years back in 1913. Now we've got 3 months.
2013.
2013.
Let's go
Yeah.
there. That'll be old.
2013.
Are you feeling that old?
Sometimes I do feel that. But if you look but our system is there now. We didn't have it back then.
Yeah.
Through good leadership from Little Australia and Bart Schoeman and the guys with the youngsters in our systems, we've got a very good youth procurement system. And those guys are coming through now. So you can't really compare it with back then.
Sure.
And back then, people must remember, we beat the Kings with 2 points after 2 games. So it was tough. It was really, really tough. But it was a blessing that things worked out like that. All I'm asking now is not to use the word, for our fans out there. We've got fantastic fans.
Yeah.
But they're worried now, and they should not be worried if you're a fan. I believe you got a support for me, and I use it in coaching. That is support.
Yes.
So if I coach and I see a problem, I must be able to hold and nourish and sometimes squeeze to get the best result. I can't be like that now.
Exactly.
If I coach like that, or I'm a supporter like that, there it falls, it's gone.
Under pressure, cold tends to diamonds.
100%.
So
100%.
hopefully it's the same thing. So talking about that fan, I mean, I'm a big fan. This place gave me a chance and opportunity. I understand the culture of this place. I understand how much it feels when you win the game and you sing that song. To the guys' culture now, how are they feeling mentally? And what are the guys understanding about going forward?
Yes, that's a good question. Gcobani, we were there culture-wise. The culture has developed. These youngsters, they saw it. They were up in the B field while we were training on the A field. They've seen it. They've seen us go through hard times. They saw us when the Hurricanes gave us a 53. They were all around, and our baby brothers were there. So the culture was the whole time breeding. So when adversity happens now, it's almost like they know we're going to rectify it.
Sure.
They know what we stand for. We don't have laws here if you're late or anything. We work on we've got a thing here that we play to inspire people and thank God for our talents, and we try and score tries. The only thing we added in the meantime is we want to up our defensive system big time. So that the attack and the defense sort of balance out. Now, to bring you to a good defensive thing, you want to play a bit more there, so they run long distance and you can apply your defense system.
You almost read my mind there. I was going to say, we watched the game over the weekend, Bulls game. Most of the time, I know you felt that you were sort of almost strangled in your 22, but then forced to play. How did that now sort of change your point of view about trying to get out of the 22? Because exit is important.
Yeah, one thing, yes, you're never too old to learn. I learned so much with my Springbok experience last year. When to run and when to kick and when to maybe do this. Rassie is a genius. He's an absolute genius, and it's wonderful to work with him.
He's got another brain.
He works. He operates on a next level. He's just flipping. We laugh a lot. Yes, I must say we do laugh a lot. I remember on the bus to Twickenham, some stupid thing tickled our minds, and we went crazy all the way there. And at the stage I had to cough to stop my laugh, when you go there. But to come back to him and your question, you've got to balance this thing of when to kick and not more. Our DNA for the last 4 or 5 years was just to run everything.
Sure.
So if you kick the ball, you've got to explain to me why you kick the bloody thing.
Exactly.
So now that has changed a bit because defensive systems has improved so much. If you look at rugby all over the world, the last 2-3 years, the defensive system is up. it wasn't a cycle in the 90s, defence was everything. We won the 95 World Cup, Rudolph and them were in that thing, and they only scored 6 tries in the whole tournament about.
And they had 13 minutes of ball in play.
It's
which
amazing.
is nowadays is 35
But their
minutes.
defence was in a different level. Now, 50% of the time you don't have the ball. Now that for us, and I would encourage our fans to have a look at that, that's a big thing we want to up. And every time in this stadium where there's a big heater, we want to hear it, because I want to get the guys that, that's one thing. We were fine with attack the last few years. We scored most tries in the last 3 years Super Rugby. People, that's interesting, eh? And
it's actually very important, that.
It's very important. So now if we can get now trying to get this balance right, you've got to, this is a scale.
Sure.
If you were attacking, defending, you want to get that balance right. But to come back to your question, and what I've learned, and we applied it against the All Blacks in Wellington with that great win we had there. We played the tactical game beautifully from that point of view, and they didn't expect it. Even at Loftus, we lost in the dying seconds, but we played that game a good, what we call a suffocate game, and that's where we lost it again on Saturday. But our guys, we learned, we're ready to go, but it's sports still there. It's still about...
So true. I mean, I look at these, I like to call them now at the moment, the Lion Cubs at the moment.
Yeah, good
They're the young bunch, and I mean, the one thing about a cub, it's got lots of claws. And how much fight do you think these kids have?
That's right. Like you say, I like what you're saying. We never prompted this on me, so it's just a discussion. I just on Monday after the game, I said, guys, well done to the Bulls. I asked them one question. Wow, what did they do well? And we saw it, and we said, well done. What did we learn? That's the other thing. And I showed a few clips. I didn't show any tactical stuff.
Yeah.
I showed effort.
Yes.
I said, when they kick the ball and there's a fight back for that ball, and I went through every player, what was your effort? But because if you give me effort and you give me guts, and like you're saying now, like the young cubs, I don't care how old you are. If you're old enough, you're good enough.
Sure.
If you're good enough, you're old enough.
Yeah.
But one thing that's not negotiable is effort.
True.
So I don't really care about if we win or lose in a game. Obviously, I want to win.
Constantly.
And I'm a bad loser. But if I see effort, and I see really concerted effort, and a will to fight and to die for your teammates and to give everything, then I'm a happy coach.
Well, these Lion Cubs have been exciting. I remember just been doing so many games and being surprised, first of all, that the Lions have won the under 20 and a 19 championship for the last 3 years, and they only got about 2 players in the national under 21 side, or under 20s, or baby boss. But knowing exactly what is coming through the system. Now, looking at it now, there's players that are coming through. Care to just maybe give a bit of credit to those ones that you really do understand that.
Yeah,
really
Bob, you know what? They just unreal, these youngsters coming through. And if I miss a name or two, I'm just going to give a few names that excite me.
Yeah.
And the guys that are really going to be household names very soon, I believe. You look at a guy like Johnny Lombard.
Yes.
From Boys Eye, and then how you slot it in, and he's already mixing so well with the guys, Manny Ras. You look at Wandile Simalani. Oh man. There's exciting. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, absolutely. And they're humble guys, so I can mention that. Green, and then you go PJ Steenkamp, Ruan Vermaak, you go Naughty, so, a young James Venter that's going to be on the bench now. Oh man, they make me so excited, those youngsters. So future-wise with the young Cubs, brilliant. The only thing I want to ask our fans to back them and to support them. I'm thinking of the front row now, the Nathan Macbeth and Leo Creer, and you go Asanati, you go, the list carries on and on. So I'm very excited about our youth, and I want to compliment again our guys in charge here, that they backed our system, and Altman Ahlers, that he, through the terrible days, when no one wanted us, he stuck with us. Altman stuck with us. So now he's backing the thing of the system. So you won't just flog his money to buy superstars. He won't do it. He's going to give us time to back the system and the youngsters, and I've got respect for that.
I love the way that you saw in process, Swys, and understanding you and your excitement about everything. Now, there's a bigger picture that's leading up to the end of the season. There's a bit of excitement about the Rugby World Cup coming up. and how all of that sort of all fits in to what now you're having to sort of manage, and how would you go about it? And there's a few things that just picking your brain and things that you've seen, that things that you think that there could be a chance and opportunity to just be out there and execute.
Yeah, so are you referring to the World Cup now as well?
And just the way that you think about the game and where you think that there might be an opportunity for us to get better.
Yeah, firstly, I think the opportunity to get better is to get, as I said, that balance between attack and defence right. And then secondly, is a bit of perseverance with our youngsters coming through,
Sure.
with the older guys like the Elton and Mapose and the guys who stuck with us all the way.
Yeah.
Warren Whiteley. I've got respect for those guys. They never moved, just to mention a
Sure.
few names. You know, so to get that balance right, the experienced guys and the new coming in, it is a new season. It is a new opportunity for those guys to show what they can do. And it's a great opportunity for these guys to put their hand up for World Cup. It is World Cup here. It is a massive thing. Just on that, Gcobani, I just want to make it clear to every fan, because every second guy is asking me, are you now with the box? Is that why the Lions are losing? That sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't want to be that person, but please do explain.
Yeah, I just want to say very clearly, I'm very honoured that Rassie did ask me to go with the World Cup, and I will be responsible for the attack and work with him and Jock and Stick and Matthew and the guys. So it is a fantastic opportunity, and I thank God for that opportunity, because it's after 35 years in this game, 93 games in Super Rugby, you know, it is just fantastic to have that opportunity, and I thank Rassie for that opportunity. But I want to really tell every single one, at this stage, this moment, every second, I think, and when I sleep and I wake up, like last night I couldn't sleep, I was thinking of a new move or a thing, and my mind is 100% with our franchise and our team. And then what will happen afterwards will happen. There's 2 alignment camps, or there's alignment camps that Rassie did with the franchises. He's went to the Stormers now. He's coming in 2-3 weeks to us. It's a day or 2 that of my Lions time that'll be with him to plan the future and where's every guy and that sort of thing. So ek is trots op wel.
I can see.
Ek is 'n leeu, and wherever God takes me, I'll stay a leeu.
It's been a difficult season for mostly everyone. Lions starting off with 3-1-1. You've got the Blues on the other side, touted big this year. Even when they won the NPC last year, they're the team this year. They played 3, they've got 0 wins. You've got the Chiefs on the other side, who've played 3, they've got 1 win, and they've lost ridiculously against the Sunwolves. No one saw that coming. You saw them losing against the Brumbies by 50 points. But at the same time, with those guys, I know I'm saying this the whole time, no senior players in those 2 teams.
You're so
Because they're
right.
being rested.
You're so right. You just spot on. You look at the Chiefs. Now they're still the Chiefs. They're a wonderful team. They've got 4 All Black guys who's not playing now. It's on their system. They're not playing. They're resting. Look at their results. They're getting big hammerings. But I tell you what, they'll be back. The Crusaders has won this thing how many times, and they started 1 out of 4 once. So obviously we want to win, and we process driven.
Yeah.
But that is absolutely the reality, you know. And I think it's a blessing in disguise for us. Honestly, it's a long tournament. The World Cup is coming, and if you look at a guy like Warren Whiteley, he needs his rest, so he's resting now. I know he's injured. Marvin Ori is resting now, so he's getting he might be in the World Cup. I don't know. That's Rassie's call. But what I'm saying, it's not so bad, man. It's sport. It's you know, we've been behind 22-0 against the Reds once we've beaten them here. So it stays sports and stay exciting. And I just want our spectators to understand all the facts and no moaning. You know, but please don't crucify the guys if it's not necessary. Let's back them. They're your fans and you're our supporters. You know?
I think for me what's important is that at least taking the challenge on face on, and it's good for the Lions to show a bit of bravery at this time. It's only the 3rd game in the season.
True.
So please calm down. There's more to come.
Thank you.